Throne and Liberty, Amazon's newest MMO, has received major backlash online due to gamers complaining about pay-to-win systems, some servers being too hard, and overall gameplay experience. As a Throne and Liberty player who is a part of the #1 guild in one of the many servers, I will give an honest review on what I have experienced and what you, as a hardcore gamer or a newer player, will experience.
This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crowd. Fire in the sun.
The game is initially daunting. You need to grind to level 50 as soon as possible to unlock all the content in the game, because you don't want to waste any currency. It builds up over time. Most people don't find an issue with it, but some newer players may feel less inclined to grind as hard as possible, get that level 50 as soon as possible. But for your average gamer, it's not that bad, to be honest with you. Some of the quests are fucking annoying, but like it's a simple path to get to level 50. Do the purple missions. If you need to do some blue missions to hit the level requirement to continue the purple missions, fucking just go ahead and grind them out. Do the easy ones. You can't really figure that out until you've done it the first time around, but it's fucking straightforward. You gotta be a potato to not understand how to do it, really. On my first character, it took me 2 days to get level 50, but on my second account, it took around 4 hours, maybe 5 hours. I wasn't like counting, but like the amount of time I put into that second character, like I fucking speedran that shit. And yeah, it was fucking pretty easy actually. On my second character, I didn't even upgrade any items. I got like the green items that you get from the free lithographs. I made the shittiest weapons possible, and I just fucking leveled them up to 6, and that's all I used. I had a common dagger all the way to level 50 through all the quests, which was a mistake, but I still did that, and I finished it in 4 hours. Everyone should watch a few YouTube videos, like the basics, like understand how, like what the fuck you're diving into. Like, it's very important to learn the dungeon basics, the mechanics, or like if you don't know it, when you hit 50, you're just gonna get shit talked the entire time, because if you fuck up, you could fuck up the entire dungeon run. So it'll make your experience better, and it will make everyone else's lives 100 times easier if they don't have some shitter fucking just throwing the entire dungeon. Basically learn that shit before you hit level 50. Once you hit level 50, I mean, you gotta fucking grind everything out. After you hit 50 though, everything unlocks for you, and you get the full Throne and Liberty experience, and all the fucking hell that comes with it. Once you hit 50, the game pretty much focuses into player versus player and guild versus guild and boss fights. That's like the main focuses. You have to start building your character towards that. Get the right items, do the right dungeons, you know, buy what you need to buy from the auction house. But, you know, overall though, I rate the beginning of Throne and Liberty a solid 3 out of 5. It's not that hard. It's not that bad.
Oh my god!
The game has weapon classes, but only a few are reliable in PvP and guild battles. It's more like weapon combos. Like other games have had this type of weapon system. It's okay. I do like the class system better, like mage or whatever, but you pretty much get thrown into your own class, like a melee or a range. That's kind of how it works. The game is very punishing if you want to swap your class. If you don't like your current class, which 90% of people hate what they fucking built at the start. I don't know, like, even if you do all the research, like even I don't like my class really. Like I'm playing staff bow, and I actually did swap my first one. I was playing staff dagger. I swapped immediately, pretty much right after I hit 50 on my first account. And it seems like that's kind of the trend for most people, but it is punishing. You do lose a lot of materials for swapping. Meta shifts will be coming, like it's inevitable, like castle siege, you know, buffs, nerfs, and it's gonna make many of the already good weapon classes pretty much useless, and other classes like greatsword dagger, greatsword sword and shield, greatsword wand, anything with greatsword is just gonna get fucking even more OP because they're buffing everything. And the guilds are only going to want meta classes. So if you're trying to be in the top guild and you have a shit build, I mean, you're pretty much fucking stuck. You can't join a top guild if you got a shit combo. And if you fully built towards one that was good and it got nerfed, well, now you're fucked. The game just says fuck you. They put a middle finger up to you and they're like, well, go have fun. And from what I've seen, a melee combo, like a greatsword dagger, like a greatsword wand, is more fulfilling to play than any other ranged combo, like a staff bow, or like even a greatsword, or not a greatsword, a dagger staff, like anything like that. It's not the same. Like I didn't play melee, but as a ranged player, watching these melees play, they have much more usage. They have more ways to make themselves unique in a fight. But as a ranged player, you kind of get turned into like a flash wave bot, where you're just like a cog in the system. Like you're just making everything work smoothly. And sure, you put out good AoE damage, but you have 50 other people in your guild using the same fucking ability, doing the same thing. It's like, okay. And classes like Greatsword Wand, I swear to God, these classes allow you to carry guild fights. I don't know how this is possible, how this is in the game. One player with a Greatsword Wand can dive into the middle of the enemy guild and sleep their entire team, which stuns them for 5 seconds, which is enough time for their entire guild to get wiped 3 times over. That's how fucking busted one character can be in a melee combo. Range does not have that opportunity, due to the fact that the weapon system is like fucked. It's very punishing, it has a lot of flaws, a lot of people want to swap, they can't swap, all the buffs, all the nerfs, all the shit. I kind of rate the weapon system like a 2 out of 5. It's like, it kind of sucks. Now, of course, guilds are the main focus of the game. Basically, if you don't get into a top 3 guild, you're gonna have a fucking miserable time. You're gonna have a terrible experience. It's gonna be boring. You're gonna be guild hopping. You're gonna try to find any way to get into one of these top 3 guilds, and they're gonna say fuck you. They're gonna shove a finger up your ass. They're gonna say fuck you. We already have people that have been playing since day one. That's how it is. And then if you finally land a spot in a solid guild with like Discord communication, consistent players, good players, the game does become much more rewarding and fun. You go from getting rolled by a 60-man Zerg to being a part of that 60-man Zerg rolling a bunch of fucking world bosses. It's a great time. It unlocks the opportunity to actually control world bosses and world events and have good PvP, good guild v guild. It's just a whole different game at that point. And then this brings it into having a good guild leader or shot caller. Like, that is pivotal in the success of any guild. Someone needs to lead and strategize for that guild. Otherwise, your guild will be uncoordinated and it will fall. It will be fucking wiped by smaller guilds that just so happen to have more coordination because they have one guy who knows what the fuck he's doing. He's a sleep bomber and he knows how to shot call for any flash waves. Like, it's a whole different ballgame.
Stabilize the middle. Get ready to step in. Step in towards A4. Step in towards A4. Come with me. We're about to hit a fucking clip on them. We're about to hit a fucking fat clip. Hit the sleep in 3, 2, 1. Slam the sleep. Slam that shit. Fucking wipe these dogs. Get out of here, bitches. What?
A guild leader should respect the opinions of all guild members, not turn the guild into a dictatorship. This is opinions through meta builds, ways to play the guild v guild, castle siege. Just not one person has all the ideas. Everyone knows the game enough if you're in a top guild. It's not just you. And if it goes on for too long, it's going to cause the guild to fall apart. Members are going to get pissed with each other. The guild leader's going to not have as much reputation with the guild members. It's going to, and if it comes down to it, it's just going to discourage the players from continuing to play. They're like, well, this guy has no idea what the fuck he's saying. But if we try to join another guild, they're going to be like, we're already full. Or they're going to be shittier, you know? It's not going to be the same. So overall, a good guild leader will make a good experience for their members. In my guild, our leader has organized things pretty well, and he has okay strategies, decent strategies. He isn't the best at putting himself in his guild members' shoes, though. And, he's created a top-heavy guild. You have 5 people who do the main leading, who are also the strongest, have all the items, play 9 to... Like, they literally play this game like it is a 24-hour job. But it's kind of how the game can turn into, depending on leadership. But that's the most common way it'll go. You're going to have the 5 main people that do everything, like, with leadership. And everyone else is kind of just pieces of the puzzle. You throw them in there just to make things work. But they're the core members. They're the core strategizers. But obviously, it's normal. No one is perfect. And obviously, a dude who's just running a guild in a fucking MMO, he's not going to be God. He's not going to be all fucking knowing. Anyways, each guild has alliances and feud guilds. The alliance system is solid. Like, you get to have 2 alliances, which makes it so for world bosses, for PvP, guild v guild, you can't fight each other. You guys are peaceful no matter what. You can't target them. You can't hit them. Nothing. But the feud system is kind of shit. Like, you can highlight enemy guilds or players, and it's like, it doesn't do anything special. It just highlights them so you know where they are. But it's pretty useless unless you have there's a system which is a little more advanced, which can target feuded players and guilds. It's okay, I don't use it, but a lot of people do. Overall, though, the guild system is very good, and guild versus guild battles at certain world events like bosses, map control battles, it really creates good content for the players and everyone involved. I give the guild system a 4 out of 5. It's almost perfect, honestly, but there's a like, if the feud system was a little better, if you could like actually battle more than once a week, twice a week, it would make it a little better, but you can't be greedy. World bosses are a major part of the game. This is how you get the best loot in the game and can really boost your combat power if you get some of these items. The peace bosses are more fair towards lower tier guilds, solo players, dogshit players, and the conflict bosses are more geared towards larger guilds. The smaller guilds are just gonna get fucking curb stomped at these conflict bosses. Like, you're gonna run into 70-man guilds fucking on a Friday night, 70-man deep. Oh my god, a 20-man guild will not stand a chance. Now, the issue with the peace bosses is that most bosses are in dungeons. And in these dungeons, a skill called Eclipse, which is given to the top kill leader in the server, makes dungeons PvP for a short duration. It turns it into nighttime pretty much, which makes it PvP. Making a boss, which should be available to all players, pretty much impossible to get any contribution on. You can't even get in to see the boss if the guild does it right. They can lock you out of the boss, they can keep wiping you over and over and over again until the boss is just about to despawn the portals to get in. And then they all rush in, they all go in the portal, and they leave all the smaller guilds and players out. They can't get in anymore, and they get all the loot to themselves. The item drops are random, but you get a higher chance depending on how much damage you do to the boss and other things like guild members doing damage, party members doing healing, stuff like that. And each death that you get on these conflict bosses, you're going to lose 70% of your contribution on the boss, which is huge. It's 70% each time you die. And the good thing though is they recently started giving a chance for a chest to drop, which will give you any item that drops from that boss if you hit it at least once, but it's very rare to get it. But these items, if you get it, you can get some of the most powerful items in the game by chance. But the bosses are more geared towards guilds with a lot of players, and it can leave many players disappointed and lacking content. Even in the peace bosses, if the guilds don't wipe each other and the players don't get wiped, there's still too many of those players from that guild there, and they get more contribution than everyone else. so they still get the majority of items. But even with that, I give the bosses a 4 out of 5 if you're in a top guild, but I will give it a 1 out of 5 if you're a solo or in a small guild. It's definitely not for the weak-hearted. This game is not a 1v1 focused experience. It is guild versus guild. Joining a server with a smaller player base to start off, then grinding gear, powering up, and joining a solid guild is the way to go. I never noticed a single person destroying a server because they swiped their credit card to get the best items. It doesn't work like that. You don't need the best items to be overpowered. You want to be overpowered, play a sleep bomb with basic items, and you're fucking golden.
Day is never finished. Master got me working. Someday Master set me free.
Finally, the core part of the game, the daily grind. This includes the dungeons, the daily contracts, the daily shop, the open world dungeons, and the other random content in the game. The dungeons get tedious after the first few runs of them. The daily contracts will hurt your brain, and you have to pick the same ones over and over and over, or it will take way too long to complete them. The open world dungeons take a while to complete, but it does give an opportunity to grind with actual people you know. You can party with 6, and it makes the experience a little better, but most people just go in solo, find a random group, and grind it out. But overall, the daily grind gets old after a week, and it really ruins the game. But you gotta do them all, or you fall behind, and you'll get kicked from your guild, and you're gonna have a rough fucking day. I give the daily grind a 0 out of 5. It's the worst part of the game, and it's a pain in the ass. Let me go hop on Genshin Impact and enjoy some other shit. It's the same fucking thing at that point.
We are Japanese goblin. ということで、戦ってみよう。
Now, Throne and Liberty is a game which you will have fun playing for a long time if you meet a couple conditions. First, you're in a top guild. Second, either you lead that guild or you are a core member. 3, if you are not an OP build, you need to be content being a cog in the wheel, being that flash wave, one of the many flash waves. And finally, the daily grind, if it's what you like and it doesn't get old, you'll have a great time, because that's what 90% of the game is. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.
Baby, now I'm trying to forget you.